morning and someone's knocking on our door. And and we have a bad habit of dog shut up. But then we heard the and I kind of like come out of a sleep like a gunshot, and I like look in the man and I go, what the fuck was that? I don't know. So I go downstairs and I open the front. First I looked out the peephole. I'm not stupid. There was no one there. So I opened the door and I noticed that there are 3 cop cars across the street, and the one cop was about walking back to over by the cops or his fellow cops. And he realized I opened the door and he goes, "Hey, hi, are you okay in there?" And I'm thinking, yeah, why wouldn't I be? And I'm like, yeah, we're fine. And basically what had happened is one of our neighbors had seen someone messing around with one of our windows on the lower level. And they called the police, and police came over to investigate, and they didn't really see anything, so they figured they'd knock on the door to see if we were okay. Now, I was thankful for that, but it's also terrified me, especially considering I don't know if this was before this or after this, but I went to go to work and there was blood on our front porch steps, and a little bit of a blood trail leading down the sidewalk. And what was it that we found out later, that someone got either jumped or something?
Oh, the one that hid in the neighbor's bush?
I guess, yeah. I don't remember the whole thing about it,
I
but
think there was some kind of shootout or something, and he tried to get we weren't home, or we weren't answering, so
we
they
were
went
asleep.
next door and, yeah, hid in their bushes or something.
Now, the person that hid in the bush, were they the perpetrator, or were they the one looking for help?
I think they were the perpetrator.
Because it just freaked me out that, I'm going down the steps that morning to go to work, and I see blood on the freaking steps. And I'm like, what the fuck? Was I bleeding when I got home last night? Was she bleeding? What the fuck? So it's stuff like that scares the crap out of me. It really does. That's why I'm not saying I avoid those type of movies, but I don't know. To me, it's just it just makes me very uneasy. Now, spiders, on the other hand, those are all too real and all too everywhere. Unless you got peppermint oil and you can go and get rid of them. But segueing from that, now I don't know how you said that was a really good movie. It kind of surprises me that you saw that movie, Cortez.
What, Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah.
You're probably talking about the original.
No, actually, I was talking the remake.
The one, like, within the last 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember it vaguely, but it was definitely a good one because it was that one, Wrong Turn, and Stay Alive were the movies that I was watching.
Stay Alive. We're not talking about the John Travolta one, right?
No, this is the one, what's his name? The boy from Malcolm in the Middle, the lead kid, the genius kid.
Oh, okay.
Where they were like a part of a video game.
Oh yeah, it was Disney's only horror film.
Yeah, damn, was that Disney?
That was Disney.
Yeah, so, yep, you know what that was. But yeah, that's that movie was actually really fucking good. Like, it was very thought out. It wasn't the typical, we're playing the game. If I die in the game, that's how I die. No, it was pretty much the game never stops. When you're trying to play and escape, once you put the controller down, the game takes on a life of its own, and it keeps going. So it's like now, once you get toward the end of the movie, that's like when all the action really happened and just had you jumping around. And a lot of my scare from the movies don't necessarily be what I'm seeing, but how I'm listening to it.
What you're interpreting.
Yeah, so if I'm listening to, like, through a sound system or a surround sound system, the impact is way different than me just watching it on the TV itself. So like going to the theater, it's a whole different experience.
Right.
Because you feel the trembling and the anxiety buildups. It's different.
Right.
So depending on how my sounds are will actually determine my overall, like, scare factor in the movie. You get if that makes any sense.
No, that makes total sense because I used to. How do I put this? We were talking about. You mentioned PTSD,
right.
and I suffer from PTSD from watching a movie in a theater. And I've mentioned this many, many times, but it goes without saying how sometimes movies can affect people in weird ways. In my case, it was the movie Tremors. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but what the hell, what's one more time? Maybe a listener never heard this story before, and hey, we're going to do it again. Well, anyway, there was a moment. My friends are like, hey, let's go see Tremors. Let's go see Tremors. And I'm like, what the hell? Why not? What's the worst that can possibly happen? I'm here to tell you. We got there, and behind me were these three very large, very over-emotional, very overreactionary women. Mm-hmm. Okay? Every little jump scare, they screamed. And I'm not talking about, ah! I'm talking, ah! Okay? Anytime somebody opened a door, they screamed. They screamed at almost everything. If the music got to that, you know how you see a horror movie or hell, even a thriller, it doesn't have to necessarily be horror. But you can tell something's going to happen by the way the music changes.
That and the camera angles.
Mm-hmm. They would scream at that. By the end of the movie, I felt like I had, shell shock. And it affected me in such a way where I could not go, and I still can't. I cannot see a horror film in a theater. I can only see a horror film either at home or at the drive-in, because at least I can control my environment there. I cannot control it in a theater.
Shit. Y'all go with me. We had that mud control.
Well,
shut the fuck up.
Well, I tried a few years later, Blair Witch. That almost cured me. That was so boring. I almost fell asleep. But the one that really it brought it back tenfold was the movie, I think was Hannibal. I took you to go see it. And it got to a point where the music was starting to get that tension building. And automatically my fingers start going to my ears. And I'm like, mm-mm. And it got to the point where I literally I went, I'll be right back. I got up and I had to leave for a few minutes until the scene had moved past. The bright side of that moment is I went to use the restroom, and there was a couple fucking a few stalls down. That brought me out of the anxiety. But I still cannot go see a horror film at a theater, which kind of is disappointing because I want to go see Halloween Kills at the theater.
God. That looked good, and I just finally watched Spiral last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And what'd you think?
Honestly,
if you've ever seen the Saw movies before, I always I have not seen it yet, but I will treat it as its own thing.
I was going to say treat it as its own thing because it wasn't nearly as gruesome as any of the other Saws. However, that ending was fucking amazing.
Yeah, no spoilers. We got people watching.
Yeah, that ending was fucking crazy. Like, that was the most gangster shit you can do. And then the exit of it.
Gonna have to put it on our list.
Yeah, that's gonna be this.
Man.
But because I heard a lot. I've heard. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard mixed things about it, but most of the things I heard were good. As long as you go in and you don't treat it as a Saw movie.
See, the only way. Okay, so the video lighting will put you in the mind frame of Saw. And the concept of how they're getting their messages are the same. It's still the TV screen. The whole TV screen ordeal.
To play a game.
Exactly. The same exact thing, just a different character. But have you guys seen it?
No.
Okay. When you find out why all this is going on, y'all are going to look and be like, damn.
It'll probably be no different than when we saw the original Saw. And you get to the ending, and yes, this part I will spoil because that movie's been out for quite some time, folks. If you don't know the hook after how many entries into the franchise, I'm sorry. But when you find out that the dead guy that's been in the room the entire time is the actual guy who put it all together and he's actually alive. And it shows you everything that had happened throughout the film. And you start piecing it together in your head. You go, how did I miss that? How did I miss that? How did I miss this?
Damn.
It's exactly
When you put it like that, that is a good concept, but it's none of that.
none of that.
None of that.
Okay, so we'll definitely
It's
separate it
none
from
of
Saw.
that. Like, put it this way. That guy is not even a factor.
Well, I know that guy's not anywhere near it. Really.
No, what I'm saying is none of this is connected to Jigsaw himself.
Right, I know.
But wait till you see who is connected to.
Does it have anything to do with motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane?
No. Actually, he's the father.
Yeah, I know.
But no.
Interesting.
It's somebody that you really don't see much of in the previews. But when you watch the movie, it's the one and I'm telling y'all this from experience. There's not even going to be any inclinations that it's that person.
I bet you there is.
Okay.
No. And I'm
She's
gonna
really good at this. Crap.
I'm gonna Google it, but before I even do, there's no. I'm gonna explain my theory. This is a thesis, and this is what's actually gotten me to guess who the killer is. I want to say a good percentage rate of guessing who the killer is before the end of the movie. And Saw is one of the first ones that fooled me. But if you apply this one little, and I do mean little theory, you will guess who the killer is 90% of the time. And it's in the credits. When you are watching, like this happens with even TV shows really. If you watch the credits and they say with such and such, usually if there's only one, that person's the killer. If there's multiple, the odds dwindle down. The only time it's ever fooled me was Saw 7 because they didn't mention Kevin Spacey anywhere. Matter of fact, I don't even think they had opening credits for 7.
I don't remember.
But a lot of times, if you watch the credits and they say with such and such person, they are the one who's going to be the killer. Now, whether that is or is not the case in this, because, again, if they don't have opening credits, game on, you don't know. And that doesn't necessarily always happen. That being said, let's segue into Saw. Not Saw, 7. 7. Because 7, is it a horror flick or is it not? Have you ever seen the movie?
I have not.
Okay. 7 is based off of the 7 deadly sins. Okay? I'm not going to blow it because this one really you have to watch. You really have to watch this one. It's based off of greed, sloth, lust, envy, wrath, and I always forget pride. And I thought at the time it was probably one of the most brilliant films ever. Besides, and I know some people don't like Saw because they categorize it as torture porn. But that one was brilliant. Say what you want. I mean, by the end of the movie, I guarantee you, not one person saw any of that, pardon the pun, saw any of that coming. But with 7, you saw what was coming, but too late. And you literally felt for the main characters. You felt really, really bad for him by the time the movie was over. So...
yeah, it's a rough watch, but it's absolutely worth it.
Was this already queued up? Yours?
Oh no, I don't have 7-Up on this.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I have loaded up on the is just a couple of shorts. Matter of fact, we'll watch one of them in a second because it'll segue into my next thing, which is horror films.
I was gonna say I could pull up the 7 trailer. Is that the one with Brad Pitt and Morgan
Yes,
Freeman?
go ahead and pull it up so you can get an idea.
Right.
And it is more of a thriller type of movie than horror, but it has its hard left moments where
it has its gore factor.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to see a 400-pound man's penis, this is the movie for you.
I don't even remember that.
That was at the very beginning when they were doing the autopsy. They pulled out his stomach, all if not larger. I don't believe you.
Like what you do for a living. These things you see.
You have to wear blinders sometimes. Most times. Most times.
Detective William Summers looking for a way, looking for
Boy gone. So how long have you been here?
Detective David Mills is looking for a way in.
We'll be spending every waking hour together from now till the time I leave. I'll show you who your friends and enemies are.
Look, we'll come satisfy you.
I'll show you who your friends and enemies are.
Look, we'll come satisfy you.
They're caught in a game.
No witnesses of any kind.
The only thing that we know about right now is he's totally insane.
Where the price of sin is death. Sin
There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony.
death.
You're going to come take a look.
Greed. There are 7 deadly sins. Sloth. Gluttony.
You're going to come
Lust.
take a look at
7. Greed. You can expect
one touch.
5 more of these. Sloth.
Body was found on
Wrath.
Tuesday morning.
Pride. Lust.
We're gonna get
And
it.
envy. 7.
This will be the very
You can expect 5 more.
There are 2 more bodies. 2 more victims.
Found on
Methodical.
Tuesday
Exact morning of all. Hate.
He's laughing at us.
he had a gun. This will be the very definition.
He's 2 murders away from completing
Justice.
his masterpiece.
There are 2 more bodies. 2 more victims.
Let's finish shot. As methodical,
Morgan
exacting,
Freeman.
worst of all, patient.
He had a gun.
And collecting his masterpiece.
Let's finish it.
7. Brad Pitt. Morgan Freeman.
If you get the chance, watch that movie. That one's been out even longer than Saw, and I will not spoil that one for you.
It almost looked like I've seen it before.
You might have.
Like I want to discuss it, but I don't want to say the wrong thing and then spoil it for people.
Well, again,
But it's
Normally-
from 1995.
I was about to say, it's been out there for quite some time, so if they haven't seen it, again, it's kind of on them, but at the same token, it's kind of like, oh my God. If you've never seen Star Wars before and you find out the truth about Darth Vader for the first time, you
I was
know?
gonna say, if I think I've seen this, I think Morgan Freeman turned out to be the murderer. Okay, so
You might be thinking of, oh my God, Along Came a Spider, but even then, he still wasn't the killer.
That was a decent movie, too.
But no, that one I recommend highly. Definitely watch that one. But yeah, let's go pop in a short real quick. Go to my library and I'll see which one it is. I discovered this one back when there was a channel on our Roku called Bizarre TV, and I used to watch the hell out of that channel. I mean, oh my God. She played some movies I'd never heard before, played shorts I never even knew about, and I missed the hell out of that channel. She unfortunately passed away a few years ago from cancer. She was battling it for the longest time, and one of the things she did was she ran this channel. And when she passed away, the channel still ran for about, I want to say about a month, and then it just it faded out. Part of me wants to reach out to not Roku, I think it's Insta TV, and see about taking it over. I mean, but I don't know even remotely how that would happen. But it was such a beautiful, to me, channel that encompassed horror, all horror content. So one of the things I discovered, I had to nap while watching it, and I woke up to this short, and it's one of those shorts that just grabbed me right away. Like, especially if you've grown up going to the drive-in. If you've gone to the drive-in now, play the old-timey intermissions, and if you've been to the drive-in, you know what I'm talking about. They won't play the one anymore, but welcome to the woke movement, folks. But let me see. It's on the very top row there. It's I believe the second. Yeah, that one. This one creeped me when I first watched it.
Even I love.
Take a moment to upload it up for a sec, but found it, introduced her to it, and I'm like, oh my god, this sells drive-in intermissions perfectly. Eventually. Oh, stronger Wi-Fi. Let me give a sample. Let's all go to the drive-in. Let's all go to the drive-in. Let's all go to the... you get that one. Kind of along those lines. All right, here we go. Volume. There we go.
Hello, and thank you. Hello. Why not stop by? Oh, we have all kinds of special drinks. Don't take my word for it. Take it away. Minutes till showtime. There's still plenty of time to visit the refreshment stand.
This is where it takes a hard... always thought that when I saw the original. All right, kill it. Anyway, but yeah, you were chuckling at the part. For years, whenever I saw intermission with the bun training the hot dog to fly down, and he spreads his buns, pardon the expression, and the dog slides in. Gee, I wonder what that's supposed to represent. Doesn't make me think of getting a hot dog, folks. It really doesn't.
Well, and you know, I think it's also indicating like the audience that you expect to be there. I mean, ideally, me personally, yeah, it's a good outing for a family, but do you really want to take your kids there and be closed and confined? Although we do. But I feel like it was provocative because 9 times out of 10, you're going to a drive-in because you can do things there that you can't do at a theater.
Technically, yes, technically, because I can count a couple of times we've gone to the drive-in and you found a used rubber on the gravel and all that stuff. So it's that doesn't surprise me. But I do also remember growing up. I was talking about this with a coworker, as a matter of fact. You know, back when we were all kids, and the drive-in really was. Granted, you did have your makeout artists, you did have your little boing 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 test of the shocks going on too. But a lot of the times, people did take their kids because they had, in front of the drive-in screen, they had the little swing set and all that stuff. They, something to keep the kids, to burn out that energy so they won't be going as rambunctious when the movie starts. It's like, go ahead, start playing, and by the time that movie starts, about maybe 20, 30 minutes in, out. So, in that regard, yeah, it used to be for kids. And I'm not saying it isn't now. There's been tons of times we've gone to the drive-in and you saw people still bring their kids. Hell, there was one that they should not have been there. Matter of fact, someone tweeted last night that they went to go see Halloween Kills and there was a baby there. Why do you bring your baby to a rated R film?
Now, you know what'll really be scary? Going to the drive-in, watching Halloween Kills and being the only car there.
I think it would be scarier in a theater if you were the only person.
Oh,
no, I stand corrected. One other person, and they decide to sit near you.
Nah, fuck that.
Be like, check, please. I'll be back later.
I'm like, I swing a lot when I get scared.
I'm a little reactionary. But yeah, that would be kind of creepy if you were the only car there. But we've been to the drive-in seeing movies where we were practically the only car there.
No, but think, you know how you got to go to the bathroom, you don't want to walk all the way over there. You got to pour, and then the car mysteriously just don't start.
We've had that happen.
Oh, see, that's when I leave. I call a ride like, look, I'll come back in the morning and get my car.
Excuse me. Yeah, we've had that happen where the car didn't start. Whoopsie. But I don't know. One movie I saw at the drive-in that I honestly did give it a second chance, and it wasn't as bad on the second viewing. But it's the only movie I've ever drove out of. And I stayed for the entire Hills Have Eyes, and that one disturbed the shit out of me. This one just bored the shit out of me. I looked at her and said, let's go. And it was literally... The drive-in did this thing where they were doing, I want to say, marathons. Like, one screen, they had all the Saw movies up until that point. Okay, so I think it was like Saw 1 through 5. The one we were at... We saw the part of the block was Wolf Creek, Paranormal Activity.
That was the shit.
I got bored. That's the one we left.
Paranormal Activity, the first one?
The very first one.
And you never went back and chance at home?
No, we did.
Oh.
That's the one I'm saying. I gave it a second chance, and it wasn't as bad, but it took so god damn long to get to the point. I was just like, that's it, we're gone.
I think maybe you were a little tired because I didn't think it was, grand at the time either, but I would have stayed and watched it. I didn't think it was that
No,
bad.
you have to be wide awake, and that's one of the movies. What I said earlier, you got to have a good sound system because there's so much going on that you don't hear through the regular audio. From the vibrations. And I think that's the same thing with Stay Alive. Like, even though you seen nothing but the remote control bouncing, the vibration just hits you different when you can feel the vibrations from it. So, but Paranormal Activity, I think, was fucking dope. Maybe 1 and 2 were okay, but when they start going beyond that, it started becoming a little too fictional, a little too fictional for me.
Let's see. One of the other movies that was part of it was, oh my God, I just had it and I hit the wrong button. Whoopsie. It was a movie with Bon Jovi and Cry Wolf. That was it. That one was okay. It was, but to me, I was like, I would have rather have been over in the screen that was having all the Saw movies versus, all these other movies. And to me, it wasn't so much as that paranormal activity. I don't believe in, ghosts and shit like that.
You
but
don't?
No. It's not that I don't.
Oh, it's not that you don't. Okay.
It's just that the way it was just such a slow burn, it didn't burn right, It's like, give me something more than what you're showing me here. Something that gets me invested. When I first saw it, I was so not invested in that movie. The second time I saw it, I got a little bit more invested into it. And I gave it a chance and I watched it all the way through. And I thought it was better the second time around. But the first time I just did not get it. But that brings me to the second thing, which will segue into another short, but this one will probably be a good conversation, lengthy one. Ghosts. Do you believe they exist?
Ghost? Short answer, yes. In the form in which we see them in movies, no. I believe in, I don't believe you're gonna wake up and see somebody, but I do feel like retina, cameras, still pictures, and video seem to capture something that we can't see with our eyes. But I do believe in spirits and auras and things like that. I'm almost pretty sure I've seen an orb before.
Kind of like that thing that have you ever seen Poltergeist?
I haven't.
We
she
have
looked
to,
at me like,
yeah, I've
only,
never seen her eyes go up like that before.
Okay, there's maybe 5 movies that have actually scared me. Poltergeist was my favorite movie for 5 or 10 years, just because
I'll probably watch it tonight because
it's actually scary.
I've been trying to watch scary movies for
It's
the month of
creepy.
October now.
Well,
I think
there's
that's my
another
new
one.
thing.
There's one for your homework.
I'll watch that between tonight and tomorrow.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about with the orb thing and all that. But I've actually, and again, let me rephrase, because that's putting possibly my money where my mouth is, and I don't have that kind of cash. I like to think I kind of actually have seen and still do see ghosts in the kind of sense of Ghostbusters and whatnot, because maybe not glowing green.
Yeah,
or
that's what I
whatever.
mean by in the movies having that glow and shit to them.
Because I had an invisible. Most every kid has an invisible friend. Okay, most kids, not every kid, most kids. And apparently, when I was really young, I had an invisible friend named Frances. And I would always do things with her, and we'd play and all that stuff. And one day, my mom asked, "Wait a minute, what does Frances look like?" And I described her. Now, mind you, at the age we're talking, I never saw what my grandmother had looked like. I've only known my grandma Marge, but I've never known my grandma Frances. See where this is going?
Mm-hmm.
I never saw a picture up until later, so I couldn't really describe her. And I didn't know her name was Frances. So I described her, and then eventually my mom showed me, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like her. It was my grandma. Never met her. She died before I was born.
Now, would that be a ghost or would that be a guardian angel?
Well, my mom often said that would be considered a guardian angel, but I don't exactly correlate the difference because they're both deceased.
Right.
And in other cases, I've experienced things where, and this is where I think, again, Krista, light taps, have often gotten into little bit of discussions where she thought because I'm skeptical of certain things that I'm not a believer. Like my biggest one right now is Eloise Asylum, okay? Reputed to be haunted, and I have no doubt it probably is. But when you start advertising for actors for your haunted attraction, that makes one skeptical. Not to mention, we're living in an age where, you watch, I forget what it was on MTV, but they would investigate, they would send some kids to different, places to investigate, and I'm going to use the air quotes, investigate allegedly haunted places. And you don't know if it's some actor going in the background to bang on the wall or what. You don't know because it's a television production. They even proved a lot of ghost hunters, not all of it, but some portions of it were kind of exaggerated to clarify.
I actually think that's what it was called, Ghost Hunters.
No, Ghost Hunters was on Sci-Fi Channel. That one I really liked and watched.
Paranormal.
It was something X. That's all I remember.
Oh, damn. Was it Fear Effects or? I know what you're talking about because they would go out. They got their cameras and it'd be like 3-4 of them all going into like caves and
one of them was a ship.
A ship, and they went into like the abandoned bar area and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's hard not to be skeptical. But again, if this place is, its reputation is it's haunted, why do you need actors? But I have honestly seen and I believe experienced, some sort of paranormal activity, including the place I work. Have you, someone behind me, I was at work. The only person in this room was me. Literally, just me. And I keep saying literally. Well, apparently, but I heard someone behind me go, hello. And I turned, there was no one there. And then I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I went back to work, and one of my coworkers came in. She took the computer next to me, and again, I heard, hello. And I turn, and she looks at me, and she goes, what's wrong with you? I'm like, did you just say hello? And she goes, no. I think our place of business is haunted. Because every now and then, it doesn't happen all the time. They've sent cameras down the pipes to look. It smells like death in one area, certain times of the year. Like absolute death. And granted, we work near a couple of landfills, but we never smell it indoors. This is an overpowering stench of decay and rot. And it does not happen all year, but it does happen periodically. And when they went in and took the cameras in to look, they found nothing. So I'm under the belief someone had to have died there at some point. Because again, another time, me and this other person were sitting in the break room. Coffee machine went off, dispensed coffee. It didn't drop a cup. It wasn't self-cleaning. It just dispensed the amount of coffee for a cup of coffee, and that was it. And I go, well, at least they're a caffeine addict. But I digress. But to me, stuff like that doesn't scare me. Honestly, ghosts don't really scare me all that much. One time I was feeling a lot of grief for the passing of my sister, and I was having a moment, one of the places we spread her ashes, and I was crying, and I said, give me a sign. Tell me things are all right with you. and a lone maple leaf fell and it dropped on the headstone of my grandmother's grave, Grandma Frances. There were no maple trees in the area, but one lone maple tree leaf landed on that headstone. So I'm of the firm belief, yeah, they do exist. So, speaking in the vein of ghosts, okay, I got another one that's queued up. It should be, oh God, if I could see, the third one. Yep. It's another short I found on Bizarre TV back when it was in its heyday, called Boo. I thought this one was cute. It's definitely one of those ones.
Speaking of booze, happy Sweetest Day, ladies.
Is that today?
That is definitely today.
You know, I completely forgot.
So did I.
He remembers both of us. Well, I guess we got donuts for a reason, huh?
Look, I remember when I get single. Does some shit.
I guess so. Well, happy Sweetest Day, y'all, if you live in the Midwest. I think that's only celebrated
Yeah, it's only
in the Midwest.
Midwest.
But everywhere else, hey, happy Saturday. But yeah, this short is basically, it's a comedy. I'm not gonna lie, it's funny. But if you're watching, enjoy. If you're listening, just listen close.
You douchebag.
For those who are wondering, she's giving away raisins as a treat.
Happy Halloween.
We watched this whole one, right?
Hi, Miss Stanton. It's Carrie. No, Megan's still out with her friend. She'll be back soon. House is not on fire. There are no boys here. No, I'm not making out again. I'm just calling because I was wondering if you had anything raisins to hand out to the kids. I think they love them. No, I think they love them. It's Halloween. I was hoping sweeter, more like so chocolate bar. Or I was hoping maybe things sweeter along the lines of like chocolate. Mrs. Stan, hello? Hello? No, not prunes. Mrs. Stanton? Hello? Travis, is that you? Wait for a trick-or-treater. Travis, is that you? Hey, no feet. That's cool. How do you do that? You're pretty big for a
Ghosts can do a lot of stuff.
You're a ghost? Hey, no feet. It's like candy? That's cool. How do you do that? What do you like? Serious? I like to. What do you like? Hello? You're serious? Ghost Kid? You around? I like Hello? Ghost Kid? You around?
For a second there, I thought you were actually... That's nice of her.
So what, you put a bag and I'm supposed to freak out and stomp on it? Not gonna happen. Born yesterday.
Thought you were actually...
So what, you try something poop in a bag and I'm supposed to freak out and stomp on it? Not gonna happen, buddy. I wasn't born yesterday. Is this guy kidding? Kidding me?
falling for your stupid trick. Stupid idiot. Not falling for your stupid trick. Stupid. Listen. Oh, crap. God, that's a lot of poop. Okay, kid. Enough is enough. You've had your fun. Now go home. Leave me alone. It's okay. It's okay. Just calm down. Just calm down.
Hi. Yes, this is Carrie Amberwood. I'm at 416 Summerfield Road, and there's this Summerfield Road. Ghost won't leave me alone. Ghost, leave me alone.
That is impossible. There are no goats on Summerfield Road.
A goat? No, that's ridiculous. I said a ghost. Ghost.
I see. All right, stay where you are. We'll have them away shortly.
Okay.
Ghost! No!
Hear that, ghost kid? I just called the fuzz, and they're gonna be here any minute. So you better go on. You're clearly not a police officer.
Look, dude, I don't know what your deal is, but this has gotta stop. It's weird, it's annoying, it's kind of creepy. And I don't want to play your stupid game anymore. Alright, you know what? You win. I guess the only thing to do now is to submit to each and every one of your demands! Kinda thought this would kill you. No? Because you're already dead, right? Yeah, you know something? You're a super lame ghost. Lamest ghost I've ever seen, actually. I mean, you're not even scary, and all you can do is light a bag of dog shit on fire. What are you doing? Dog ship. Stop censoring, you stupid son of a... Ghosts can't do this kind of stuff! Ah! Oh, ghost can I am. Makes sense. No. That's it. Hey.
That's how killer kills a ghost. What?
Wait. You have feet. Ghosts don't have feet. Dude, are you okay? Holy smokes, I got the wrong guy.
Officer, this is some...
Shut up! Stay right where you are. Shut up!
I'm freezing.
Stay right where you are.
Okay, I'm freezing.
Buddy, get away with it, huh?
Breaker. This is Oscar calling at 247-158. We're coming in. We got him. God, that's a lot of poop.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
This guy laid out here calls himself Candyman. Right. Feds have been chasing him across 6 state lines over the past few years. Breaks into people's homes on Halloween, steals the most expensive items, occasionally kills the residents.
What? This guy was gonna kill me?
Well, judging by this extraordinary large gun in the backseat of his Pants, I'd say yeah, that's pretty safe. How you knew he wasn't another trick-or-treater? I don't know.
Well, I guess sometimes you can just see through people.
That's funny. Because he's a ghost. Mind if I use that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks. Hear that? It's 40 to life for you, Candyman.
Candyman.
I was about to say it a few more times.
You knew he was coming this whole time, didn't you? That's why you did all this. Thanks. Happy Halloween. Oh,
Yeah, that one is still one of my favorite as far as cute shorts. Especially when he starts censoring her, even pixelates her middle finger. It's like, stop doing that! Well, so ghosts can do all kinds of cool things, don't you know? But other than that, it's weird this year because we're not gonna be home to give out candy or nothing like that. We only decorated the inside of the house. We didn't want to give anyone the impression that we were gonna give out candy or anything. But I've noticed over the years, it's been real weird. It seemed like Halloween was in a decline. You had less trick-or-treaters. Then it got back into it. People were driving their kids to the blocks, and which I thought was really good. Even though I remember going on mass exoduses for that candy. I think we would walk in a single night. Like, we would walk from 5 o'clock at night till sometimes 9:30 at night, just walking, going trick-or-treating. But I kind of like that they drove their kids to the, because at least they can make sure they're safe. But ever since, I'm talking even before the pandemic hit, there was a steady decline, but I think it was also because Halloween lately, it's getting colder and rainier. Who wants to go trick-or-treating in the rain? Well, yeah, kids. But the whole thing is that I remember there was a meme. It was the funniest one for the longest time, which was, you're from Michigan when you planned your Halloween outfit with a snowsuit to fit underneath.
Yep.
And we had no problem with that.
Definitely. Shoot, our parents was like, if they was in a rush, you putting that snowsuit over the costume and just wearing a mask.
Yeah. It's like you're the abominable skeleton, something like that. But, oh my God. The things I remember getting, some people hated getting pennies and coins and whatever. I didn't mind because that shit added up after a while.
It did. You went to the right neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah. Rich neighborhoods. Oh, yeah. If they didn't want to be bothered, they would just put in like a couple of quarters, this, that, the other thing. But the one thing, I never got the toothbrush. People said, you knew you hit a dentist's house when they were giving away toothbrushes.
Got a few toothbrushes. All that says that those are the houses that truly care about the kids.
True, but they also were the ones that truly got toilet papered the next year.
Yeah.
Because no one wants a toothbrush, they want a full-size Snickers.
Hey, if it's some dangling toilet paper that ain't hit the tree or the roof or whatever, I'm gonna take that and store it in the house and use it. Thank you, kids.
Well, last year it would have been like, that is a waste of some good supplies.
Exactly.
But the one thing though, and I don't know why we hit this place even the frickin' house next to the church, the priest gave out candy. But there was this one house along the road right by Telegraph between, I want to say, oh my God, it was Aubrey and, not Aubrey, it'll hit me later, but it's a stretch of Telegraph. It's the one street between, I want to say, 5 Mile and 6 Mile. I know that's
Linda.
It could be. I don't know. But this house was on this strip. And some years we would hit it. Some years we would head a different way. But this house, no matter the year, always gave out the Condemnation of Halloween cartoon strip. Or little comic book. Little tiny religious comic book.
Mm.
And every year we're like, you can't find a way to just give out a frickin' like gummy drop or something. You have to give this out every year? The Condemnation of Halloween. You're going to hell if you say trick or treat to a stranger. Don't you know you're not? And there's the irony. In a weird way, there is an irony. You're always told don't take candy from strangers, but every October 31st...
we take them to the stranger's house.
Exactly. But I don't know. To me, the worst candy to get was like the black licorice, Good and Plenty's, some candy corn. I'm not a big fan. I'll eat it. I mean,
Candy corn was good back then. Now the recipe don't taste as good. But
I don't know. I haven't had it in probably over 20 years.
they overdid it when they did the pumpkin ones. It was just too much candy corn.
Just too much?
Yeah, it's too thick of a piece of candy.
Some people...
I hated Almond Joys.
You hate Almond Joys? Or hated?
No, I just don't like Almond Joys. It's something about the coconut texture.
Then you would hate Mounds too.
Yeah. I thought they were the same thing for the
They
longest.
are. One has an almond, one doesn't.
Okay.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes
Wow.
you don't.
32 and I'm just not putting that together.
You just finally got it.
Damn.
But I actually don't mind it. My personal faves were the oh my God. I used to love Snickers, now I'm like, meh. But Kit Kats, Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups, peanut M&Ms, and like your Paydays, and oh my, what's that other one? The it's a toffee one.
Heath bars.
Heath bar, thank you. Those were my coveted. But oh my God, and some people say they don't like getting that the candy. It's in a black and orange wrapper. I think it's peanut butter. And
you talking about the Mary? It's like the Mary Jane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't mind them.
Those are cheap candy, but they're good. I like those.
Yeah, I don't mind them, but there's some people who hate them.
I don't know. I went through my phases. It was like when you get to the bottom of the bag and you only, like you said, the Good and Plenty's, and then you got the black. And it didn't have a name on it at all. It was just black and orange. Like it was either a whole black one or a whole orange one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What was a good candy for me? Like you said, I like Reese Cups. Reese Cups was always good, but you never get a lot of those. They fucked me up. Somebody gave me a Caramello bar.
Oh, those to me are like, eh.
What, Caramello bars?
It's good. It's sugary, but it's so good.
Oh my God. The way the caramel pours out of that chocolate.
Yeah, it's so liquidy.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I overindulged one time, and if you overindulge in something, sometimes it dulls the shine.
Yeah, I can get that because you can't eat two of those candy bars. You can't eat the whole candy bar in one sitting.
No.
You need to just break off a piece or two, and you'll be okay.
No. Even the ones I love, I have to really be careful with how much I consume of them because I will get sick. The only one that's like blood in the water for a shark is like peanut M&Ms. I could eat a whole bag and not think twice. But the only thing that's a downside of the Reese's peanut butter cups is the downgrade. Because back when I was a kid, you used to get the 2 cups in one packet.
Yeah.
Then it came down to just one. Now it's the itty bitty ones. You don't. It's rare when you go trick or treating and you get the regular size peanut butter cup. You get the miniatures, and that drives me crazy.
See, the trick is if you got a kid that you can take trick or treating, go into the hood and take them to the liquor stores and gas stations. Those are the ones who give out full candy bars and bags of chips.
Well, that's because they just point to the shelf and go ahead.
No, like the liquor stores, let's say Plymouth, east of Telegraph.
Mm-hmm.
I know all those gas stations and stores go out for the kids. Like, they will overstaff their store so somebody can be out there to give it to them, But that's neither here or there, but it's hard to get the good candy. Paydays. I love Paydays.
Yeah, I think you just bought a bag, didn't you?
I like Paydays because, that's like a good snack. If you ain't had any food, it's protein and a little bit of sugar. It's just like the perfect.
Yeah, but Paydays are just lovely.
It's not too much of anything.
And then there's me going, I'd be just happy with a Heath bar, but I don't mind Paydays. The only Paydays and Butterfingers are a weird thing for me. I like them, but there's just something about them that they create a lot of mess at the same time.
Yeah, the peanuts fall off too much.
Yeah. The minute you open it up, if it gets stuck to the wrapper, there goes an errant peanut. Butterfingers is another one. Even if you get the fun size, chances are you're going to run into 2 or 3 in the bag that are broke.
Yeah, but like she said, though, it's the perfect mixture. Like, even though it's peanut butter and peanuts, it's not oversaturated in the taste. Same thing with the nougat and the sugar that's in it. It's not overbearing. You know, you could sit there, eat a whole one, and don't feel like, oh, I'm about to have a toothache after this. You might have some.
Right.
You might have some stuff stuck in your teeth, but
For about 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But paydays are my jam.
Now,
Caramellos.
when you were trick or treating as a kid, did you ever run into what I call the? I'm not going to say the holy grail, but I think it's the only thing that applies. The holy grail of the bad treats. Toothbrushes, the religious pamphlet, and I'm not lumping coins into it because it adds up.
Yeah, we used
Money's
to get
money.
watchtowers.
But there's one other one, and I've never in my history ever encountered it. Except for my brother seems to think we did, but I'm not entirely sure. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Apples or popcorn balls?
Apples, but with something in them.
Oh.
The razor blade and the apple?
I don't even think. I'm not sure that ever even happened.
Yeah.
I will say I can't 100% say it actually happened because what kid will pick up an apple? Now, granted, most kids, when they get an apple for trick or treat, it's in the bushes.
Oh yeah, they throwing it before it even make it home.
But my brother swore that one of our apples had a razor blade line in it. Like maybe they stuck it in. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, kids are stupid, but they're not that stupid. If they see it, they're going to be like, nuh-uh. Even if it's not a razor blade, you've got an open fruit. You don't know if there's a worm and shit in there. So you're like, But it always made me wonder because obviously there must be something to that myth, if you will, because you always had the candy stations at the police station where they would literally take a metal detector over it. So they're always looking for something, like a needle in one of those.
I remember one year they
thingies.
used to have kids drop off their candy. Like you had to, like if you wanted to get it checked by the police, you drop it off, they check it, and they'll release it to you the next day.
After they took their cut.
And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was. Because you always go for the chocolate first.
Because how many times when I was growing up, there'd be my sister and I were on the living room floor emptying our pillowcases and separating the candy, and there's my mom taking a mental note of what's in our bags. and leaving us wondering over the course of the next week, what happened to our Kit Kats? What happened to our Milky Ways? Milky Ways was always the big one for her. If she saw a Milky Way come out of your bag, you knew it was gone within a couple of days. At least one or two of them.
What was really good back then, that tastes horrible now? A Three Musketeer bar. Them old bite-sized ones used to taste amazing. Like maybe about 3 weeks ago, I called myself buying a Milky Way. I mean, not a Milky Way, but the Three Musketeer bar. Oh my God, the most disgusting shit. Like, who made this candy?
I always saw the Three Musketeers bar as an amalgamation between Snickers and Milky Way. Because they were almost the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It was just like the mush in it just don't.
It didn't agree with you. The consistency didn't survive time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like this thing sat on this shelf since I was a kid. Like that's what it tastes like.
They might have changed it. It might literally be different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like same thing with Werner's. Werner's recipe is not the same.
Yeah, they changed Butterfingers too, but it's so subtle I can't really tell the difference.
You can't?
Not really, no.
What?
Oh my God, you could taste the salt more.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like a tiny. It ain't like okay, Good and Fruities. They used to be. It was little hard red licorice inside the candy coating. That's what was fruity flavored, but it was actual red licorice, and it's the only candy that I've ever heard of that's like that. I remember this from when I was 4 years old. Okay, that's how much this is seeped into my brain, that this was the greatest thing I've ever had in my life next to Fruity Pebbles, right? And Good and Fruities disappeared for years. And like 10 or 15 years ago, they made a reappearance. I got so excited. I was like, losing my mind, right? Like, I think I squealed, right? So I get a box and I take it home, and it's a jelly bean. It's a damn jelly bean, just like Jelly Bellies, just like Starburst has Gubbit, Brock's has, everything is a damn jelly bean.
And that's what I hate.
I was crushed.
But them Starburst jelly beans are good though.
They're good, but jelly beans are not my thing. But oh my God, the original Good and Fruities.
Yeah, I get you.
And you know, you brought up one that I think I've encountered once, but I don't know if I ever just succumbed and ate it or not. But the popcorn ball. Ugh. What was wrong with the popcorn ball?
Everything.
Popcorn is not meant to be that crunchy.
I think that was packaging peanuts and they just salted it or something. I don't know.
Or it could have been a
perfect example. Perfect example.
I was thinking of a rice cake, but you know.
Yeah, maybe there was some cardboard they had left over.
It's like they'll never know. They will.
I ain't gonna lie. I used to eat them though. I used to eat them. They wasn't that bad, but
I tried one once.
I don't think I've seen one. God, and not even 30 years.
Yeah, since I've last trick-or-treated, and that was clearly at least 10 years plus.
Yeah.
They had them at Save-On.
I'm not exactly shocked. They're bankrupt now. Oh, you can spot the ones that are bankrupt with what kind of stock they had in their aisles. But yeah, and other things like I remember I loved them and hated them at the same time. But I think they were Sugar Daddy, Sugar Babies.
Oh yeah, Sugar Babies.
I had such a love-hate relationship with them because you bit into them, and next thing you know, your jaws were stuck for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you look stupid sucking on them, so you were just like, I'm just gonna gnaw on it for like a while.
That's the same thing with Milk Duds. I love sucking on the Milk Dud chocolate, but once it came down to that caramel shit, I hated it.
You went.
It was a workout. Like I'm not trying to work out, enjoying this.
Yeah, Jawbreakers were one for me. I just didn't get it. Why?
Like yeah, what was the purpose of those?
I mean,
a dentist made that.
I was just about to say either a dentist or I know I'm going to get hate mail for this one. Or a woman who's trying to prep little girls and statistically speaking some boys for a career path they didn't think about.
Hey, listen. we'll come to that another day.
But the ones I know this will create a little bit of a. When it came to getting suckers, the dum-dum debate. Did you not mind it, or did you loathe seeing it in there?
Oh, to this day, I love Dum Dums if I can find the fresh pack.
Yeah, I don't care. They're okay.
Especially like a root beer one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't mind Dum-Dums. The only thing I didn't like is they were just teeny tiny. You basically like gave it a this is going to sound pornographic. You gave it a suck for like about a few seconds, then you just started crunching on it.
Yeah.
That's all it was. But it had the best flavor to it.
Yeah.
Next to
Yeah,
Jolly
tons
Rancher,
of
that was the
flavors.
best flavors.
Yeah, they had, a wide variety, but I remember people getting so pissed off if they got a Dum-Dum in their damn bag.
Like it was days if I had to choose Dum Dums over, I don't know, I would choose Dum Dums over a Tootsie Pop.
Now, are we talking the Tootsie Pop with the Tootsie Roll in the middle?
In the middle.
Or are we talking, and I don't even think it's Tootsie Pop that does it, but the sucker that has the gum in the middle.
That's a blow pop.
No, that's the blow pop.
All right. So between those three, which one?
Oh, if I had to choose between those, if I can get the red blow pop, that tops all of them. But if that one is not available, it's Dum Dums, then blow pops, and then Tootsie Pops.
Yeah, and the whole thing, I still see that old commercial. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop?
A one,
A two,
two,
a three.
a three. That was my commercial.
And
Schoolhouse Rock.
I remember as a kid, I'm like, I will answer this question for everyone. 1, 2, 3. And I'd get bored after about 50.
Yeah. I found myself trying to do it.
Now, here comes the best question. Costumes. They have changed drastically over the years. Have you ever Googled 1900, 1920 Halloween
the
costumes?
vintage costumes are what the...
That is what true horror is.
Yeah, those are the best.
I haven't.
You need to look up old-timey costumes.
Yeah, and even for Christmas, because those were horrifying too. The Santa Clauses? Whoa! Pardon the pun.
Yes, horrifying.
You know what? It's being older now. I think I like the comedy in the Halloween costumes more so than I do like the gory stuff. Cause when I was in college, one of my roommates' best friend came as Super Sperm. And I'm like, I didn't even know they had a Super Sperm, but he had big white suit with the white tail, had the cape, said Super Sperm, and he said something to the point of like ready to ejaculate or some shit like that.
Able to ejaculate over tall buildings.
But it was fun. It was funny though. It wasn't like over the top where you would walk around and like, is he out here as a sperm? You literally had to sit there and stare at it, probably be inebriated and look like, this motherfucker walking around as a piece of specimen. But it was funny. I like the comedy. I like the comedy in the costumes.
The ones I remember growing up, and if you ever get a chance, because I know you're still a young man, but if you ever get a chance, Google 80s, or not Google, but go on YouTube and like you look up 80s either Halloween commercials or whatever, because you're bound to find the costumes in there. But I remember growing up and you get that plastic mask with a little rubber band that ended up breaking some point during your trick-or-treat run. And if that didn't bother the hell out of you, the sharp ridges of your little breathing hole against your lips would just chafe and cut at you if you didn't die from the mere sweat coming off your face from having all that, heat from your body blending with the cold mask.
And that was the hard and soft mask.
Mm-hmm.
That was doing that. I remember because I don't know what year it was, but it was that one year everybody and their mama had a Jason mask. You would have thought that was like the Purge back then. But everybody had a Jason mask. Whether it was from the dollar store, Walmart, or Party City, somebody had a different variation of it.
And they don't even call them Jason masks. They're just like, get your Jason mask, but it's just a hockey mask.
Yeah, just say a hockey mask.
Jason has that little red slash here and there, but these are just white, hockey masks. But yeah, I remember there was a year that you saw that going around. There's even, and this is what kills. I'm not trying to sound like you young whippersnappers don't know the meaning of Halloween. But it cracks me up with how many times you see something that's not supposed to be made this way, like the sexy coronavirus. There was literally, I believe there was a let me Google it real quick.
You know what? That'd be dope if it was like a half-naked chick with Corona bottles like stuck to her.
You know, I wouldn't be shocked if it was.
They were all full, and she was just passing them out.
Now that'd be cool.
That's a dope.
Because I remember there was, it started off with the sexy police officer, sexy nurse, sexy construction worker, and then it just gets into just how many things can you make sexy? Sexy poop?
They tried to with 2 girls in a cup.
Stop it. Let's see. Well, there's a sexy coronavirus Costa Rica. I don't think that was meant to be there. Let me see. You know, technically, there are sexy COVID costumes. But some people are saying that they just did not want to do it. They're like, we're not doing this. There's a sexy hand sanitizer costume.
Sexy hand sanitizer?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you are sexy if you caring about your hygiene.
True.
Hygiene is sexy.
Okay, I have to see this one. This list from Good Housekeeping, get ready for this, includes sexy referee, sexy Top Gun, sexy Tiger Queen, not Tiger King, Tiger Queen, sexy White Claw. This one I need to see. I need to see it. Sexy Chewbacca.
That's easy to imagine.
How?
What if Chewbacca were female?
What if Chewbacca was only hairy in a certain area?
You have seen a female Wookiee if you ever watched the Star Trek Christmas special. Oh, please tell me they have a costume. Unfortunately, it's going to be one of those 1 to 25. You know what? No. I am not doing that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. They're doing it like that. So, okay, they have sexy TikTok. Really? It's just you wearing a black outfit and fishnets with a TikTok logo.
Sexy
really?
cuttlefish.
What the? What? What the hell's a cuttlefish?
It's that fish with a round mouth with teeth and it cuts holes in.
I thought that was a cookie cutter fish.
Oh. Is it the one with the iridescent thing on the end of its...
Here is the sexy Chewbacca. Get ready for this. Because this is awesome.
Yeah, I need to see too. See?
That's the Flintstones! Here, check this out. This is sexy Chewbacca. That's the Flintstones, dude.
That's definitely, what's her name? Pebble's big sister.
Yeah.
That could be an Ewok too.
You cannot make an Ewok sexy. Now, the sexy Top Gun outfit I would go for. That's pretty neat looking. It's just basically a woman. Just picture Black Widow, but without a full pant leg. And an American flag on her chest, of course. America. Let's see. How is that sexy Snow White?
It ain't.
I mean, the only thing is they cut off the dress at the knee. Woo. Sexy Tiger Queen.
Okay, you can't make hoop skirts sexy.
Sexy fake news costume.
Sexy fake news. What is it? A Trump supporter?
I don't know. She's not wearing a red hat. It's basically a dress that looks like it has newspaper headlines and all that stuff, and it says fake across her tits. That's it. This is
if you want to get a man to read.
Sexy kitty costume. I have 2 words for you. Cat, woman.
Yeah.
You don't need to go any further than that. Sexy skeleton Really? Really? This is a sexy... Get with it, people. Get a clue. Okay. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I have reached the apex of stupid sexy costumes. The sexy Beyond Burger costume. This is it.
Yeah.
It's a dress with green frills and what could be a burger patty for her waist.
That's why it's an impossible burger.
But that's still stupid. Why are you making this shit? No! Stop trying to make shit sexy. I can understand making a sexy Ghostbuster, which I see, and oh my god, I'd love to die and come back as a ghost just to have her catch me. But the whole point is why in the hell? Not everything has to be sexy. Nothing has to be totally sexy. I know I'm going to get hell for that. Sorry, I had to adjust the mic, but not everything has to be a sexy outfit. It doesn't. But I think, and I'm going to finish off with a little Halloween tale. I remember one costume. I love gorillas, folks. I love gorillas. They're my true spirit animal. Excuse me. And one year my mom decided to get a Planet of the Apes costume, or these things back in the day, where it was a piece of plastic that you painted and then latexed to your face. Now, they were supposed to be better and safer than the masks I just listed, the Holly Hobbies and the Captain America, face things with the rubber band. But the thing is, and while I was excited, this was the chimpanzee ape. I like gorillas. And the very first house we hit, and hell, it wasn't even the very first house we hit. I remember the neighbors saying, "Oh, I look so ugly," and I was offended. I was upset. And even as we continued trick-or-treating, people would like, "Hey, come in the house. Hey, everyone, look at this ugly monkey." And I'm like, "I'm not an ugly monkey." It was this close to me coming to being I am not an animal. I am a human being. But I just remember getting so pissed off. But now if I do costumes, I'm a keep it simple stupid. I'm infamous for the founder of the Cave's 80s Halloween party for going in costume, but you don't see my face. The only time you saw my face was like the first couple of years. I came dressed as John Candy as Uncle Buck. The closest I think was I also came just as me, but I think the other one was when I dressed as, and ladies, I love you to death, but to me it made no sense to make me Sophia from the Golden Girls. I was almost the tallest of y'all. I was just like, why do I gotta be Sophia? Because you're the wise ass. That may be true.
Sophia is the itty bitty one, isn't it?
Yes.
But she was the funniest one to me.
She was the funniest, but the thing is I'm like, in order for this to make sense, I literally have to be on my knees. And every now and then when people want to take our picture, I would get down on my knees and be like, yeah. But I was just like, I don't have anything that makes me look old. I ended up buying a latex mask that I not crazy glued. That would be another story. But I latexed to my face and it ended up starting coming off because, you start to sweat and all that stuff. So I got rid of it. But years have gone by. I have been the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
But you know what? The Marshmallow Man can play as who? You can be the Marshmallow Man or the Michelin Man.
Not with that outfit. Because once you put the head on, you are the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The only way you would be the Michelin Man is if you secured that neck just so, and you painted your head white. That's the only way it would work.
Yeah.
But then I went as Jason Voorhees, and it was hilarious. Everyone wanted to come over. Can I take a picture with you? I'm like, sure. And I'd grab him by the throat. Literally grab him by the, But one woman was so transfixed by trying to see what was underneath. Like, really? You don't... I wanted to smack her hand. It's like, don't touch the mask. She's like lifting the mask up. You can see the cowl comes up, and you still see it looks like, decaying flesh. What the fuck are you doing? So finally, and by the way, for the record, the face hole was cut out. So I didn't, have it full blown. So when she finally got the mask up to this point, I went, nah. But there was one woman I will never forget at this hall party. I don't know who she is, but somehow she incorporated herself into almost all of our group pictures. I have no idea who she is. No idea. And I even saw her at the zoo years later. And she's still like, hey, I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are. Anyway, we are going to wrap things up. Like I said, we will not be on for a while. You got Ink on Wax next week.
TBD.
TBD. You got us, who probably won't be back until probably, let's see, today's the 16th. We're supposed to be on the 30th, but we won't. If anything, we probably won't be back until the 12th, I'm thinking. Because at our job, we got an inventory coming up, and it would be hard for us to wake up and come in and do the show. So we'll probably won't be back till November 12th. I'll make sure the boss man knows about it. But until then, have a happy and safe Halloween. Don't spoil any movies unless you think the person's such a dick they need it to be spoiled. Make sure you pass out an occasional fun-sized candy bar. Don't be given none of that crappy candy. You know what candy we're talking about. We'll find you. That sounded like an orgasm.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah. I'll take that treat. I'm not going to lie. But for the most part, thanks for joining. If you shared your memories with us, sorry we didn't see them. Other than that, I've been Dawn. That's been Cortez. That's Amanda. We're going to eat some pumpkin spice donuts. Yeah, it is the season. Get your pumpkin spice oil change soon. They don't stay forever. And until we see you back on November 12th, you keep your rants in your pants.
That's a huge bitch.